Another rally was in Shawnee this past weekend.
And your grocery prices may be changing. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this week's edition of News 30. I'm Oliviana Calmes.
And I'm Nicole Smith.
Dixieland, I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie.
This last Saturday, members of the Sons of Confederate Veterans organization gathered at Woodland Veterans Park to honor their ancestors who fought during the Civil War.
I'm out here to honor my ancestors and all these people's ancestors too, and to basically get people to learn their history.
It was for the sake of preserving history that some of the supporters made an appearance at the event.
Because to erase the Confederate heritage is also to erase the heritage of my own family as well.
Despite controversy over the organization's use of the Confederate flag, supporters say they defend it for pride, not hate.
It doesn't stand for race. The Confederate flag stands for, again, freedom or oppression of the government. It stands for Southern heritage. It stands for the Confederate veterans who are U.S. veterans. They're the same kind of veterans as Union veterans. They were granted that.
As expected, despite the Sons' intentions, protesters were skeptical of the group's cause.
It's okay to respect your ancestors and not share in their ideals, right? This is 2017. We need to move past this, and to call it your heritage, especially in a state that wasn't a state at the time of this war, is just nonsense. It's absurd.
Some protesters seem to feel more strongly than others.
But it is racism. They can disguise it and they can say it's something else, but in the end, all this is simple, plain racism.
Although some heated arguments did break out, some witnesses to the event didn't think either side was completely understood.
It seems like these guys are trying to get a point across as to what the flag represents to them, and I think it's a kind of misconstrued views on both sides.
I think there's a lot of extremes on both sides. I think there's sort of a skew on information and truth.
The Sons of Confederate Veterans state they do not condone the use of their logo or the Confederate flag as symbols of hate, and also denounced racism, white supremacy, and the actions of the Ku Klux Klan. However, it was obvious that people felt the need to speak out for their beliefs. I'm Jason Berger with Shawnee News 30.
Former State Senator Connie Johnson is running for Oklahoma State Governor. She is currently the only candidate to confirm her plans to run. The 64-year-old Democrat ran for the Senate seat in 2014, but was beat by Republican James Lankford. Other candidates are expected to announce their plans to run soon.
Oklahoma Department of Human Services is reporting a new record low for children in DHS custody. The 2016 report said 10,000 children were under DHS care, and officials are now saying it has dropped even more. The drop in numbers is being accredited to awareness being raised for the Oklahoma adoption and foster programs. And now House Bill 1228 is heading to the Oklahoma State Senate. The bill will speed up the adoption process so the state can continue to see the numbers of children in DHS services lower. For more information about adopting or fostering, you can call 1-800-376-9729 or visit okfosters.org.
Walmart is trying to catch up. Aldi's store prices are found to be up to 20% less than those of Walmart, so Walmart is trying to gain those customers back. Reports say that Walmart is in the middle of a pricing test in around 1,200 stores in 11 southern and Midwestern states. Although there are not many official statements made by Walmart's CEO Doug McMillon, he and U.S. Chief Greg Foran do say that they will invest in prices in the next few years. They know where the gaps are, and there are certain categories where price is more important, like packaged goods. Either way, you might see even lower prices on your next trip to Walmart, so look out.
After the break, we'll take you inside Shawnee High School to see the latest technology being used in the classroom. Stay tuned.
Shawnee High School received some new learning technology for students. News 30's Natalie Brassfield has more on the story.
A few months ago, Shawnee High School was able to update their computer lab and purchase Google Chromebooks for their library using funds from Title I for having 82% free and reduced lunches.
The federal government gives you so much funding per student, and so that money trickles down to the sites. And we used ours for technology this year, and one of the things we bought was the Chromebook card.
The high school felt that it was important for students to be familiar with this kind of technology for the future.
Well, I mean, everything in life is technology-based, and so we have to get the kids prepared for that. It just opens up so many more options and opportunities for the students when we have technology in their hands.
Now I actually get my work done on time, and we get to do group projects more, like we get to interact with our groups more.
Shawnee High School is hoping to update the technology that they already have using money from the school bond that was recently passed.
With our bond that we just passed, there's a technology piece in that, so we will be upgrading our Wi-Fi. We'll be getting also some new technology out of that.
Principal Johnson hopes these Chromebooks will give the students more opportunities to use computers outside of the library's lab.
The mobile labs give us a lot more flexibility as to who can use them, when they use them, where they use them.
Reporting for News 30, I'm Natalie Brassfield.
Oklahoma Baptist University is preparing a brand new minor starting in the fall of 2017. The Advocacy Minor is designed for those interested in developing skills to help them become advocates for a cause that benefits society. The minor consists of 19 hours of courses from psychology, sociology, political science, English, and communication studies. It's also compatible with any major. The Advocacy Minor allows students to get more involved in helping the community out as a whole, whether that's professional work or volunteer. If making a difference in this world is what you strive for, this minor is right up your alley.
On Saturday, March 11th, 24 students from Oklahoma Baptist University are going to New York City. The students are going to be teaming up with a church organization throughout different areas of the city.
There's a new group on campus for writers and lovers of sci-fi and fantasy. English professor Dr. Lindsay Pangi has recently started a new group called Inklings. Morgan Smith has a story.
The Inklings is a group. The name comes from an original group of writers and authors who would meet in Oxford. Two of the most famous members of the group were C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien.
Since last fall, members of Inklings have met every 2 weeks to discuss sci-fi and fantasy books while also sharing original fiction of their own.
When I came to OBU, I wanted to provide a group where people could meet together and discuss the works of those writers, but also continue in their legacy of writing fantasy and Christian literature as well.
Dr. Pangi said she hopes that Inklings will provide a place for new writers to share their work and get encouragement.
I think that oftentimes if writers are just trying to go it on their own, eventually they lose the will and focus to do it. But having the accountability of a group is a great help.
Although Inklings is only in its second semester, Dr. Pangi said she would like to see the group continue to grow.
I'm excited to see what happens, and a lot of the direction we go, I want to be up to students and those of us who are taking part.
Students who are interested in joining Inklings can email Dr. Pangi at lindsay.pangi@okbu.edu to be added to the group's email list.
As long as you're interested in these subjects and want to be writing in the Christian fantasy science fiction genre, we'd love to have you join and visit for a meeting, even if you're just curious. So.
I'm Morgan Smith, reporting with News 30.
Back, Jake Nelson will have your weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Here's Jake Nelson with your weekly forecast.
Well, folks, all day it was a little hot today in parts of the state. We did have a nice breeze to help cool us down. 74 outside right now. We reached a high of 79 today with just a couple of clouds out here and there. Winds out of the southwest around 6 miles per hour. Weekend temperatures looking to drop into the 60s for Friday, then down into the 50s for Saturday. Saturday holding on to a pretty high chance of thunderstorms, and those storms may continue into Sunday and Monday. Then looking ahead to your 7-day forecast, Sunday with increasing warm temperatures as the week goes on. Low relative consistent around 30s and 40s. And now you're up to date with News 30's latest weather forecast. I'm Jake Nelson. Right after the break, Jason Berger with sports. Stick around.
Just kidding, don't do it.
But we work so hard. Welcome back. Here's Jason Berger with your sports update.
Hey, thank you, ladies. To start things off this week, the OBU track teams are currently hosting the OBU Outdoor Invitational at the Hurt Memorial Track Complex. The Bison and Lady Bison begin their defense of the 2016 NCCAA Outdoor Track and Field National Championship after both teams were crowned indoor champions in February. The field events started at noon today, as well as the track events, which started with the 10,000-meter run. Live results are available at obubison.com. And in baseball news, after a rough 5-game losing streak, the Bison team was finally able to turn their ship around and come away with a big 15-2 win against Northeastern State here at home in Shawnee. The Bison were able to tally up 20 hits along with 14 RBIs offensively and only totaled 4 strikeouts. Starting pitcher A.J. Merkel was able to total 7 strikeouts of his own in 5 innings of work before Blake Whitehead relieved him and only allowed 1 earned run. The Bison post a record of 9-8 and take on Arkansas Monticello on Sunday afternoon. And this last Tuesday night at OBU's Green and Gold Gala, retired NFL All-Pro quarterback Archie Manning stopped by to give a speech on his faith, family, football, and leadership advice. And I was lucky enough to get to sit down with him. Take a look.
I don't get much intro anymore. I pretty much go by Peyton and Eli's daddy.
This last Tuesday night, OBU was honored to host retired NFL quarterback and humanitarian Archie Manning as the main speaker at the school's Green and Gold Gala. Despite an impressive college career and 2 Pro Bowl appearances in the NFL, Manning did not hesitate to admit that he has seen his fair share of adversity.
It was kind of a struggle. I loved playing the game. I loved playing the quarterback position. I loved playing for New Orleans, but you never get used to losing.
From 1971 to 1982, the New Orleans Saints' record was 49-119. In the midst of a hard career, Manning remained positive about his experiences.
I wouldn't swap it for anything. You know, I was one of these kids that wanted to grow up and play ball, and I got to do it. And I enjoyed the experience, the relationships I made, the lessons I learned, the values I got along the way have always been beneficial to me. So I wouldn't, I don't want to do it again, but I'm glad I did it.
Between his father's suicide and his son Cooper's spinal stenosis, Manning said he turns to his faith to persevere.
Maybe sometimes dealing with some tough things is easier to keep your faith. Sure, sometimes we ask God, why does this happen? Why did you take my father away from me at a young age? Why Cooper wanted to play college football so bad, and why is that taken away from him? But I was very fortunate. I had parents that instilled in my sister and I at a young age. We had a strong faith, and it certainly served me well and helped me during my tough times in life.
Manning made it clear that he wants to be remembered as someone who was a good teammate, not only on the field but in life as well. He also offered advice for young individuals wanting to make a difference in society.
Then I believe in that old saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. I really believe that. Yeah. So I think if you keep your priorities there and work hard, you're going to accomplish some things.
I'm Jason Berger with Shawnee News 30. Archie Manning may not have been on some of the best teams during his 15-year career, but he is definitely one of the best people you could ever meet. That's all I have in sports this week, and make sure to keep an eye on your local Shawnee Wolves basketball teams today and tomorrow. Back to you, ladies.
Wall Street is famous for its Charging Bull statue, but it now has some competition. In honor of Women's History Month and in efforts to promote equality in the workplace, a new statue is facing off with the bull. The statue, titled Fearless Girl, is a powerful visual of a little girl defiantly staring down the bull.
Fearless Girl was installed Tuesday by the State Street Global Advisor as part of their campaign to increase the number of women represented on corporate boards. A petition has been created calling for the statue to permanently remain on Wall Street, but as of now, the statue will be removed later in the month. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. Next week is spring break, so we'll be back March 23rd. We hope all students and faculty enjoy their time off.
And as always, you can follow News 30 on Twitter and Facebook for news updates and behind-the-scenes content when you follow Shawnee News 30. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in a few weeks.